Listen, you did not become a practitioner to be a marketer, but unfortunately, it is part of the job we cannot avoid. And if marketing feels so overwhelming to you, like it's something you should be doing, but you're not doing it because you have no idea how to start, you're in the right place. Because in this episode today, I'm going to teach you 10 ways to market your practice that are simple, they're easy, they don't require you to be attached to social media all the time, even if you're a solo practitioner or you just have some little staff person that's helping you. I say this is easier to do than you think. So let's dive in. I'm going to teach you exactly how to do this. Welcome to the Clinical Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm Rhonda, your no fluff, tell it like it is business bestie for wellness practitioners just like you who want to build a practice you love and make a bigger impact and a little money while you're at it. So if you're ready to ditch the overwhelm, attract your dream, ideal patients, and finally run your practice with complete confidence, you're in the right place. Each week, we're tackling things from programs to patient retention to marketing strategies that actually work, sprinkled, of course, with a little sass, a lot of heart, and the step-by-step strategies that will help you get there. So grab your cup of coffee, your notebook, or whatever keeps you going, and let's build a practice you love and a life you love together. I'm kind of been on a marketing kick lately, and it's because I told you last week that so many practitioners, it's probably the number one thing that I hear when I do calls and interviews and that kind of thing is people will say to me, I need help with marketing or I need more new people. And I get it. Like that's the lifeblood of our practice, right? We need more bodies in because we want to help, but we also have bills to pay and overhead and we need to be paid for what we do. So this conversation about marketing and next week's going to be, I already know what I'm going to talk about. I'm really excited. I don't know if you're going to be happy or not. Well, you're going to have to listen to find out. But today, I want to give you my 10 ways that you can market your practice. Now, let me give you a little bit of backstory. I have a love-hate relationship with marketing. I love it. I think I'm pretty good at it. But I also don't like it because it's not what I want to do for a living, right? I love working with you. I love clinical things like in Clinical Academy. I love helping patients. That's what I love to do, but I also like marketing and I think I'm pretty okay. It's not my top of the line passion. So I kind of have a love-hate relationship with it. And so I've been thinking lately for myself that I've felt that there's been a shift in the landscape for people that are marketing their businesses. I'll give you some context. So for those of you that have been around long enough, you know that for a long time, we used to have summits. Do y'all remember that? And it was a summit for this and a summit for that. And then everybody jumped on the summit train. And we're going to do a summit. I was invited to summits. I spoke on summits. I didn't ever host one because I didn't want to do all that work. But I get it. And a summit was a way that you collected a whole bunch of people to talk about a certain topic. And then all those people would offer something free, a free resource, free something or other. And then you would opt into their list, you would get on the list of that other person, and then they would start to market to you. And for probably 3-4 years, that was sort of the thing. And now, when was the last time you heard about Summit? Because it sort of faded into the distance. And then it got replaced with something. Well, they were kind of going at the same time. But then webinars became a thing. And then everybody's doing a webinar. Come and join the webinar, and you know what's happening at the end of the webinar is there's just going to be a hard sell at the end of the webinar. I've done them. I know. But it's a way that you help people see the value in what you're providing, right? The service that you provide. So for me, it might be business coaching, or it might be Clinical Academy, or it might be that I'm teaching the female hormone seminar, right? It's when I'm doing a webinar or these business owners are doing a webinar, they're really trying to attract the right people that want what they have to offer. That the offer is going to solve a problem, hopefully, for the person who's listening. So if you have a problem in your business, then I'm your girl because I have Clinical Business Academy. I'm a clinician. I'm a practitioner. I know how to do this. I can get you to $1 million. I know how to do it. And so that's what I love, and that's what I'm going to talk about because I'm passionate about it, and I want the same success for you. But now, over the past year, I think, year and a half maybe, webinars are kind of like people are getting tired of them. tired of opting in, tired of all the selling part of the webinar. I'm not talking about like, the female hormone seminar or a functional blood chemistry seminar that I'll do. I'm not talking about those because that's just a clinical thing, right? We're talking about a clinical that you're paying for it, you're getting information. I'm talking about a sales webinar. Like if I was going to do a webinar and hard sell you into Clinical Business Academy, those webinars are not working. So I've been thinking about this and thinking, wow, sucks for those people that have their businesses built entirely on webinars because they're going to have to pivot. So I was thinking, well, what is the pivot? Now, you and I, we're not webinar kind of people. You're not doing a big webinar to talk about Hashimoto's and then get all the people that listen to join your practice. Webinars aren't really kind of our jam. They're not. But from a marketing perspective, we have to understand what's not working so that we can adapt our marketing strategy and do something that will. So I went to work and figured out what I think and I've seen are the trends that are working now. And so I'm going to give you 10 of them. Now, you can write them all down if you want to or not, or just maybe jot down the ones that are the most relevant for you. But I'm going to give you my 10 that I think are really, really working now that we're starting to see the shift. We shifted from summits to webinars, and now I think we're shifting from webinars into what I'm calling relationship marketing. And I think the relationship marketing is where the gold is. That's where you're going to grow your practice. But then how do we create those relationships with people that we've never met? Well, last week I talked about free resources. That's one way to do it. But I'm going to give you a few more ideas today. Are you ready? All right, let's go. So the first one is short form video content. Now, if you don't know what that means, it's basically like a reel. Or YouTube has what are called YouTube Shorts. It's the exact same thing on YouTube as it is a reel on Instagram. Or if you do a video on TikTok, it's all the same thing. They're short form video, like a minute to 2 minutes. They don't need to be long. They shouldn't be long, in fact. Shorter, the better, because people don't have good attention spans. So these short form videos, if you're good on camera and you love just being able to prop your iPhone up in a window and talk to that iPhone like it's a real person standing there, then this is going to be perfect for you. And you want to make it kind of catchy. So like 3 reasons why your bloating gets worse in the evening. People are like, oh, why does my bloating get worse in the evening? Okay. They'll listen. Or what I would do if I had 10 minutes of anxiety and I had no supplements. What I would do to quiet my anxiety. Someone who's anxious to be like, oh, what does he do? Or you could do like the 3 surprising things that worked with this really challenging patient. Something that piques their curiosity. If you just say, wellness tip of the day, this is Dr. Rhonda Nelson, and I'm going to tell you how to have better health. Who's going to tune into that? Nobody. So you want to make it hooky. You want to say something about what you're talking about that makes people want to lean in and listen. Number 2 is mini workshops. Now that might sound a little bit overwhelming, but think about it like a live Q&A. Okay, and literally these are short because remember our attention spans, we actually have shorter attention spans as human than goldfish. They've proven it. We are dumber than a goldfish when it comes to attention span. Isn't that sad? It's really sad. So with that, you want to keep these Q&As 20 minutes. You're doing a 20-minute once a week live Q&A or a mini workshop. And maybe in your practice, again, I'm not telling you to do this. I'm just throwing it out as an idea. And if it resonates and sits with you, you go, I think I might like that. Well, then write that down. Okay, I'm just giving you ideas. We're just thinking outside the box. But this seems to be working really, really well. So if you'd wanted to do it twice a month, and it's literally you stick to it. If you say it's 20 minutes, it's 20 minutes. People will be on time. They won't drift in late. And if they do, they miss out. And at the 20-minute mark, you say, you know what, we've got to wrap it up. So thanks for joining. Here's our next mini workshop and the topic will be X. See you later. But these are working. So you could say things like, bring your labs and I'm going to be decoding or reviewing 2 labs during this 20-minute little workshop. And people will join because 20 minutes is the operative word there. They go, oh my gosh, it's not going to take me forever. I don't have to be on for an hour and a half. You could do an ask me anything about hormones. 20 minutes, ask me anything. I know someone who, it was great marketing. He said 10 of your questions in not 10 minutes or less. I thought that was great. 10 questions in not 10 minutes. I thought it was great because you can't answer one question in 1 minute, but it was kind of hooky, right? People were like, oh, that's kind of funny. And they leaned in. You could say, you're going to talk about why your sleep sucks. Like, why do you have bad sleep? So that's your 20-minute strategy. So these are like mini workshops or like a really short live Q&A that you can offer to people in your community that can join you and just ask you anything. Number 3, this one's probably my favorite, and that is just leaning into your email. Even if you have a small email list, this will work. It's gold. Email lists are gold. In fact, when you sell your business at some point, that's always what I'm vying for. Let's build the business up so it has a lot of value. And then when you get ready to retire or change your mind, you want to go do underwater basket weaving for a while because you're tired of working with people, then you could sell your business. The value of a business is the strength of the email. It's one of the big things that adds a multiple to the sale of your business. So when it comes to email, you want to there's kind of five emails, I would say. And if you want to jot these down, you can. Number 1, you want to do a welcome to your, and then put in your free resource, or here's your whatever they asked for. And then you give them the resource and then tell them what to expect. The second email is something like the number 1 thing I see in, and then write out talk about your specialty, like women over 40, or the number 1 thing I see in people that have bloating or digestive issues, or whatever it is. The number 1 thing I see. The third email is meet Lisa. She had the same problem. And then they're going to meet Lisa. You're going to write about Lisa. Lisa is a fictitious patient, but she represents the patients in your practice and the problems that they are dealing with. It's just a super short case study, not long. You're not writing a book, just short, super easy. The next email you'll send out is what to do next. So now they have been introduced to you. They know about a problem that you solve. You've now given them a case study about Lisa. And so now your number 4 email is like, here's what to do next if you're ready. And you just talk about it. Listen, this is how I can help you. If you'd like to be like Lisa and you want to have your problem solved, here's where you do. Here's where you go. This is what's next. And then you can send another email if you want to that just says, are you still here? Are you still around? Here's what I'd do if I were you. That's a good subject line. That's a good way to kind of write that email. They're kind of ignoring you and you just say, are you still listening? Are you still here? And then give them again another option to work with you. That just builds more connection and it makes you a little bit more relatable. But I'm telling you, email is a home run every time. Then there's Instagram highlights and like a mini stories. So you can say like, for instance, my 3 top anti-anxiety tips, or what's really going on with your thyroid, or why TSH doesn't mean anything. Why TSH, you should never look at TSH first. Here's the marker you should look at. If you're confused about gut health, start here. If you don't know why you're bloated, click here, start here. That kind of thing. One sneaky food that will cause bloating every time. Or one thing that you have to support if you are bloated. You just want to make these little mini videos and you put them in Instagram. They're called highlights. And you put those little mini videos in there and it's like a little mini training. Does that make sense? So they go there and they're like, oh, they listen about thyroid because you're a thyroid specialist. And then they're listening to bloating and you go, oh, he can help me with my bloating too. This kind of solves the problem that I hear all the time as well is people don't want to niche down because I think we've been told the wrong thing about niche. And I probably am guilty of explaining it this way as well. But we don't want to niche down because we don't want to exclude anyone. But when you can do these little think of them like a video vignette. Would that be the right thing? Yeah, like a vignette. It's just a little short 2 or 3 minute video and you just put it on your Instagram in the highlight section. If you don't know how to do that, you can email me or you can just go YouTube and see how to do it. But these are like little mini videos that talk a little bit more about what you do and the problems that you solve. So these are great. They're working really, really well. In fact, Instagram is prioritizing these, just saying. At least right now they are. Number 5, you can start a private community. This isn't for everyone. And if you hate social media, then this is probably not your jam, but you could create a little group and you could go live. I was just talking about the 20 minutes. You could go live in a Facebook group. And it's just a Facebook group for people that are interested in what you do or your patients. And you could just go live once a week in there at the same time, same place, 20 minutes. That's it. Come and ask your questions. It's just kind of a nice thing to do. Some people really like that. I don't. That would not be a good fit for me, but it might be for you. Number 6, guest posting on a podcast. Now, you probably have never even thought about that. Never, ever. However, if you have a message, you have a story, you've overcome something, you have a certain way of dealing with a health issue, there are podcast hosts everywhere that are dying for people like you. And the great thing is that the people listening are patients. Typically, they're patients. And those patients are looking for solutions. And if you have or talk about on a podcast a solution that the person who's listening, you're basically getting exposed to a whole brand new audience, which is amazing. It's like super amazing. That you don't even have to do like a national podcast. There's local podcasts. Everybody's got local podcasts. So you can find some that are in your state. You have a metropolitan city in your state, find podcasts that are in that city. You could also find wellness collaborations, places where people are collaborating on health and wellness. And then you can also look for, like, if you are a specialist at like perimenopause, you can look for groups of people that have perimenopause, offer to be a speaker for them. Just offer, just say, hey, listen, I'd love to talk to you about that. This is one of the things that I do really well. I found you and I'd be happy to talk with your audience if it would be helpful. Here are some of my talking points. Number 7, use your patients to tell the story. In other words, just ask them, sit the little video camera up, prop it in a window and stand up in front of the window and just ask the patient, like, tell me a little bit about how you were feeling when you came in here and why you decided to come in, and just lead them through a conversation and they'll talk about it. If they're willing, of course, and they're just sharing the version of their story. That's all. You're just getting them to talk about themselves. And again, people love to talk about themselves. So get the patient to talk about themselves and then get it in writing, but ask them if you can share it online. And that's another way that you can, again, we're all talking about ways to market what you do. People love to hear real stories. They love it. They love real stories from a real person rather than reading about Lisa in an email. But if this video option isn't a good one for you, then Lisa in the email is fine. But if you had a real Lisa in the office and she's talking about her transformation, yes, ma'am. That's a home run. Number 8, we're almost done. Have a very clear offer. Think about this. What do you want them to do? What action do you want them to take, right? When they come upon your free resource or they're listening to Lisa, what do you want them to do? You just want to tell people. They want to know the next steps. Don't just say, well, if you feel like it, you can call me. That's no. So what is the next step you want them to take? So you want to be really clear about that and then talk about it everywhere. Just be very clear. I call it passive marketing when practitioners or other business owners in whatever specialty, where they just don't mention it. That's why I'm not going to stop talking about CBA. I mean, you're going to get sick of it, but I'm just telling you, it's flippin' amazing and it'll change your life. And I'm not going to stop talking about it. So the next step is to schedule that call with me, rhondanelson.com/CBA. That's it. That's what you need to do. I'm not going to stop talking about it because I'm passionate about it. You're passionate about the thyroid or perimenopause or bloating, whatever it is. Don't stop talking about what you're passionate about. Tell them what to do next. All right. Number 9, have one free offer. So that's what we talked about last week. At least one. You could have more than one, but at least one free resource or free something that you can give people. The 7-day hormone reset, which you can't do it in 7 days, but you get it. Beat the bloat in 3 days or less, or your fatigue roadmap, 1 week to feeling better than you've felt in years. And you use adaptogens and a cortisol manager and you're good to go. Something like that, a free resource that's really going to help them make progress. And then lastly, you got to drop the links for what you're doing everywhere. So make sure that if you have a free resource, or you want them to schedule a call with you or whatever it is, that the link to do that is everywhere. It needs to be consistent because think about it from a patient perspective. If they go to your Facebook page and it says to do one thing, and then Instagram says another thing. And then your website says another thing. And then like, you're going to hear me talking about two things. Two things. That's it. Clinical Business Academy and Clinical Academy. I'm passionate about both of them. You want better clinical skills? Clinical Academy. You want better business skills? Clinical Business Academy. But both of them are for clinicians. So you're not going to hear me stop talking about it. And that's what's going to be linked up everywhere for me. Same for you. What do you want them to do? And then be consistent about it. Wherever it is, it could be if you're guesting on a podcast, I'm rooting for you. In your Facebook group, Instagram, your LinkedIn, anywhere it is. You just got to be consistent. So those are 10 ways that you can, I think those are, well, I don't think, I know these are working right now. And it really is back to that relationship building. We're giving shorter content. We're giving free information. We're building relationships. We're using email with an open door. Let me know what your question is. Or have you ever had this experience like Lisa? Let me know. I'd love to hear about it. Tell me all about it and I'll see if I can help. It's building relationships. It's not this, I'm going to sign up for a webinar and be a no name, no face behind the scene. And I'm just going to listen to a talking head and then be sold to at the end for some program or whatever. I'm not saying there's not value in educating people, but what's shifted is people are tired of not feeling like they have a seat at the table. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Is we want to give them a seat at the table. We want to invite them to come sit at the table. And they may not work with you, but you don't know who they know. You don't know who you get exposed to, who they'll expose you to. I had a patient in yesterday and she actually was not a good fit for me, but I gave her a whole bunch of other kind of free information. I said, these are the supplements I would recommend. Here's what I would recommend for your digestion. And she left and she said, well, can I pay for your time? And I said, no, it was a free appointment. She said, can I pay for your time? And I said, no, that's all right. No problem. And she goes, this is the most transformational conversation I've ever had. And I've never been so happy that you couldn't help me because I now know the direction I need to go. I guarantee you she'll either figure out a way to be back or she's going to tell everyone she knows. And all I did was go a little over the top just to meet her needs and give her some tips and pointers about how she could improve her health. And she was over the moon. And so that's what I'm talking about. I'm playing the long game, and I would encourage you to play the long game. I'm not in this to win this in the right now, get the cash moment. Yes, I have to get the cash. Of course I have to get the cash. But right now, in the right now moment, all I want is to build a relationship. Because that relationship is going to give me some air later. When I'm reaching out from an email and it says, hey, this is Rhonda, she's going to go, oh yeah, Rhonda. She might forget about me in a week. But when she gets my email, she's going to remember. Or she happens to see me on a targeted ad on Facebook. Or I just find her and follow her on Facebook. I'm like, hey, just wanted to say hi. I just saw your profile and thought I would say hi. She's not going to forget about me. And that's building those relationships. So some of these things that I just gave you, that's kind of the intention is to create a more personalized marketing approach rather than stepping back and doing it the way that we've always done. Because just because you've done something for a long time doesn't mean that it's always going to work that way. So that's what I have for you today. I hope you love this episode because I love talking about marketing. And then next week, I already know what it is. I haven't recorded it yet, but I'm going to, and you just wait, my friend, you're going to like it. I'm going to give you an action plan on how to do something you've never done before. Are you ready? It's coming up next week. All right, friends. See you then.